Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Allahumma arinal haqqa haqqan warzuqna ittiba'ahu wa arinal batila batilan warzuqna ijtinaba. Allahumma ighfir lana warhamna warda 'anna wa taqabbal minna wa adkhilna al-jannata wa najjina minan nar wa aslih lana sha'nana kullahu. Inshallah, we are starting our second chapter today, and this chapter is about major sins and the traits of Nifaaq. And the Hadith in Mishkat Sharif, Hadith number is 49. متفق عليه حديث عن عبد الله بن مسعود رضي الله تعالى عنه قال قال رجل يا رسول الله أي الذنب أكبر عند الله قال أن تدعو لله الند وهو خلقك قال ثم أي قال أن تقتل ولدك خشية أن يطعم معك قال ثم أي قال أن تزاني حليلة جارك وأنزل الله تعالى تصديقها والذين لا تدعوا مع الله إلها آخر ولا يقتلون النفس التي حرم الله إلا بالحق ولا يزنون. Ayah muttafaq alayh. The translation is Abdullah bin Masud radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu has said that someone asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that what is the biggest sin in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rasulullah replied that you commit shirk or you associate someone with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, although Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is created you. Then he says, what is the second biggest sin? Rasulullah replied that you kill your child with the fear that that child, he or she, will sort of share your risk. Then that person asked, what is the next biggest sin? And Rasulullah replied that you have illicit relationship with the wife of your neighbor. And then Rasulullah has recited the ayah from Quran, وَالَّذِينَ لَا يَدْعُونَ مَعَ اللَّهِ إِلَهًا آخَرَ وَلَا يَقْتُلُونَ النَّفْسَ الَّتِي حَرَّمَ اللَّهُ إِلَّا بِالْحَقِّ وَلَا يَزْنُونَ. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent down this ayah for these big sins. So in this hadith, the three major sins that has been mentioned, number one sin, the shirk, which is the most sensitive of all major sins in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give this mention in Surah Zukhruf that the kuffars of Makkah also says that the angels are, na'uzubillah, the daughters of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said that, are they present when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the angels? How do they say something when they don't even know? If they are present, that they are eyewitness when the angels Allah creating, and Allah was creating the angels, they were present and they know, and that's why they are believing in that. So this wording that Rasulullah has said in this hadith, that our whole body, from the hairs to the nail in our feet, everything is created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are 100% created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we will return back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So how can we associate someone when we have been owned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we associate someone with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in any way, shape or form? And the most important thing about the shirk, that the sajda is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, dua is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and any qurbani, anything that you slaughter, is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are the three main actions that you have to make sure that you don't do with anyone else except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are other things that are associated in it, but we have to make sure that we as Muslims believe in La ilaha illallah, that we not only worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but we are slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala owns us. And the second major sin that is mentioned is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us an offspring with His mercy. So how can we make decision from our own to nauzubillah kill that offspring, thinking that this offspring will share the risk that Allah has given to us. It was a common practice in Arabia at that time that they were actually burying the daughters alive. And this is reason was that they felt that there's something bad when someone has a daughter. And here it is categorical, either it's he or she. Anyone who kills the child because of the fear of how he's going to feed the child, the risk is in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we have to make sure that this practice should not be the case in any way, shape or form. And number third is, this is the most heinous thing that can happen in a society, to destroy a society when there is some illicit relationships, especially in the neighborhood where you live. It will not only create mischief in the neighborhood, but also there will be no peace in the society. And that's why it is prohibited, that this is the biggest sin that is being done in a way, because when you are a neighbor, you have relationships with your neighbor. Either in Islam, Rasulullah says that I had a fear that Jibreel Islam will gonna come and say that the neighbor is also have portion in the inheritance. That much importance you have to give to your neighbor. But on the other hand, if there is involvement of any kind of illicit relationship, that will destroy you, that will destroy the neighborhood, that will destroy the fabric of the society. So we have to be very careful. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from the major sins. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.